Hey everyone, it's Amanda here, Redheaded Mystic. Welcome to the Dead Garden. I wanted to talk to you about soul hit versus heart hit. And what I mean by that is when your love life comes down to a choice, because the person you marry, that's a choice. People are always talking about soulmates, talking about twin flames, their divine counterparts, high-level soulmates, and there's growth in both. And this morning I got this message, and it was a heart hit. And I've actually never had a heart hit before. I've never truly been in love. Most of it was codependent or attachment, ego, and I never got any soul from that or any heart from that. But this person that came in gave me this heart hit, and it spread across my whole chest, and I guess I can describe it as I wanted to say that it felt like the love and the tenderness and the gentleness that you would hold a newborn baby, not to say that their baby or your baby. And then it made me think of if you were to be held with angel wings. And it was a very light and warm but cooling feeling at the same time. It was just such a beautiful airy balance. I would imagine that that's what love should feel like. I would describe that as a high-level soulmate. I would describe that as someone that you have love for, but can grow it into a very deep connection, one of mutual respect and partnership. And just like any kind of marriage or relationship, it would take time to grow and to work on it, but incredibly beautiful. The soul hit. The soul hit for those people that are on a divine flame journey or a divine counterpart journey. That is a different hit altogether. That is, and I'm not just talking about regular soulmates, because soulmates can be different things. Soulmates can be karmic. That's a different type of hit. It can be just friendly type of soulmate where you feel like the person and you are supposed to go through lessons. It could be like a friendly thing. I'm talking about that deep, all-encompassing type of soul hit where you see the person and you see like every past life, and they hit every trigger, good and bad. The telepathy is like super hard. The eye contact is super hard. You both see the flame in each other's eye. and you go down that really long journey of healing and triggering and learning and clearing out all the old garbage and debris and stuff that you didn't even know existed that you needed to heal. It's a long journey. It's a hard journey. But yeah, so when it comes down to when it comes down to two, and you have a choice, because that's what marriage is, it's a choice. Either choice is good if you've done the work, and I'm talking about the work on yourself. So when you fully encompass the healing on yourself and your love and the love of yourself and picking yourself and choosing yourself, then you can choose either one, and either one would be a good choice. It just depends on what you asked for, what you want for your future, what you really want your future and path to look like. Some people choose not to go down the twin flame journey because it's so intense and it's incredibly hard. Some people choose the other route, and then some people choose not to do the other route because they want the all-encompassing as opposed to like the gentleness and the softness and the taking of the time that a high-level soulmate would require. Yeah. So I want to do a spread, and I want to see. That's so weird. Why is this card in here? The Page of Wands? That was weird. Okay, so I want to do is there a pause button? Okay, that was cool. First time I use the pause button. The kids outside were being loud. Okay. So I want to do a spread. So let's, Spirit, what can you show me for the divine soul hit person, right? So this is for people that are on this journey, that have come to the point where they've done their healing, and two have come in and they're looking, they're gonna have to make a choice, right? What can you tell me? Should I do this one? No. This one too? Should I do this one? Okay. Just making sure. Okay. What can I get for the heart hit? Give me 2 for the heart hit, please. I want to see what these energies look like. That's beautiful. Give me one more, please. One more, please, for the heart hit. One more. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, so just to start off, to show you, so for the soul hit, we got transcending and freedom, okay? And then for the heart hit, we got transformation, vitality. Okay, so yeah, so for the soul, the divine soul, the Atlantis, right? So you've had a lot of past lives with this person, right? This is, you could have been like priestesses or magician types in past lives together. There's a magic about the connection and a sacredness to the connection, right? With the Freedom card, there is a liberation to a divine counterpart connection. And with Martin, yeah, that's a word and a name. Martin Luther King, the I Have a Dream speech, you know, I'm getting, I mean, everybody knows that speech and how famous and iconic it is. But what I'm getting off of that is that a divine counterpart connection, a connection that is so sacred and so incredibly hated by a lot of people. And what I mean by that is no one wants to see that succeed. Everybody will try and defer and break and say how it's fake and it's not real. And of course there's like a lot of fake information about that, but the energy itself is real. And the speech is about him seeing a world where people of every race, religion, color, no matter station, status, can come together and we can be human and we can live our lives free without oppression. And oppression is a really big thing, I think, with these counterpart relationships, because of how much negative energy and the odds are against you two. And I feel like when these connections come into play and they actually connect and they come together, it changes the world. It tips the scales of good and evil. You know, good, because there's enough evil in the world. There's a lot of good as well. It's what your perspective is and what you focus on. Yeah, so I think that that's what this card is saying, is how much, like how beautiful that would be for all of these counterparts to come into play and change the world and change the perspective and outlook of people when it comes to love and what's possible. Yeah, that was a mouthful. Okay, so for the heart hits, right? Vitality, the sun, right? So there is a massive creative energy with this, a lively energy with this. and a very like bright and shining energy with this, much like the sun, right? And it's on display. So it's really deep and really important, and it shines light on everyone around you. But the difference between, I think, the heart hit one and the divine counterpart one is that everyone knows that the sun is there, and they might complain about it, they might love it, right? Some people love the sun, some people don't like the sun, but it's there, and everyone knows it's there, and it spreads life and gives life, and it's the sun, right? And transformation. This is Rumi of Persia. So Rumi is about, well, it's about love. All, like, love of all sorts. Love of the self, love of partner. He's the one who talks about all the love and the heart-centered energy. And raising your vibration and dancing with God, right? So high-level soulmate, you are also going to be with God. And it's a transforming love because it's a love of a high level enough that you change each other's lives and the lives of people around you, but in a different way, I find. I feel like this is community-based, and I mean, it can be worldly-based, but there's something more ancient about the divine connection as opposed to the high-level soulmate connection, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Can we do these ones? Yeah? Okay. I totally need a drink. I have been so busy, I can't even talk. So busy the last 2 days. But, oh, I wanted to do those ones. But I'm having a great day, had a great day yesterday, regardless of feeling like slightly under the weather. Nothing to complain about, right? Okay. So let's do the archetype. So, okay, what kind of archetypes do the divine counterpart represent? What sort of... Okay, so I got the mystic, reveals an intimate union with the divine. Exactly. And then child, magical, right? And she's got like butterfly wings or fairy wings. So very deeply rooted in magic. Again, with the Atlantis, so that's a good clarifying. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things and the belief that everything is possible. Yeah, so this type of relationship would be, I mean, it would be so in your face and so incredibly healing and so ancient and so powerful and so magical that you couldn't deny its the proof and its existence, right? Okay, so what can I get for archetypes for the high-level soulmate, please? What kind of archetype energy for the high-level soulmate, please? Okay, I got mediator. So that's a gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. Yeah, so a deep respect and a working at it and A lot of fair and open communication, whereas I find with the divine counterparts, there might be less communication verbally and more telepathically and soul talking. If you know, you know. Give me another one, please, for the heart hit, for the high level. Child wounded. So that's interesting that both childs came out, because inner childs play a big part in the healing of that when it comes to these intense, higher and divine partnerships. Awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children and opens the learning path of forgiveness. Yeah, so I find like with this quilt, there is a protection and a creativity, like I was saying with the vitality in the sun, that the two of you would be creating a life for each other and to help others in the same way and give back to your community in the same way that your creativity flows out. Meaning, like say you do home renovation or whatever, or you're like in the trades, then you could help people that have lost their homes, like Habitat for Humanity, or go to different places where, what is it, like, does it say? Yeah, to serve other wounded children, to serve like third world countries and things like that, right? So again, it would be like community based, but also it could be world based, but it would be more 3D focused, if you will, which in turn would help people feel safe and grounded, and it would help heal them. Whereas the divine partnership, it would be more of a soul healing and spiritual healing. I hope everybody's understanding the difference, because it makes sense to me. But I be different. So. Okay, let's turn to the tarot. I am using the, what is this? Is it the Tarot of the Oracle? Tarot of the Divine Oracle? Tarot of the Divine. It's right there, Amanda. Tarot of the Divine. Yeah. Okay. So what can I get for the messages with the divine partnership? What can I get? Wow, okay. Should I take these? Really? Okay. Okay, so I got the Six of Swords, followed by the Queen of Swords, and then the Two of Coins. One more. All right, I'm being told to do one more. I'm gonna do what I'm told. Okay, can I get one more, please, for the soul divine counterpart? No. Can I get one more, please? Can I get one more? Wow, okay. Can I get one more? The Moon. Okay, and then what can I get for the heart high level? 10 of Cups. Can I get 3 more, please? What can I get for 8 of Coins? Two more, please. The Magician. 1 more. Can I get that one? That's too many. I just want 1. Give me 1. The Chariot. Okay. Alright. I might need the book for this. Okay. Because these are all fairy tales and stories. So. Okay, so first we have, this is going to be a bit of a long video, but okay. So soul hit. So the 6 of Swords. Okay, so with the divine partnership, there is like a leaving everything behind, everything that you knew, and that could be people, places, and things. There is an exile to that, so you can be exiled from your like current surroundings. You can be pushed out, or you can leave. And with all of the water, that's obviously a really emotional thing. And yeah, and like that Bob Marley song, Exodus, there's like a leaving, like a moving of tribes, or a leaving of tribe to go find your own tribe. Queen of Swords. You turn into, with the leaving everything behind, you turn into the Queen of Swords. You become sharp in your words, sharp tongue. You become assertive. You become like not taking anyone's bullshit, not putting up with bullshit, not playing the stupid little games that people like to play, and no longer being in the mindset of comfortable lies. You're standing your ground. You are in your feminine power, or masculine power. No gender in tarot. Put yourself where you belong, please. Okay, 2 of Coins. In this process, you're gonna go through a lot of loss, and there will be financial loss where you will have to, with leaving, start from scratch, start over, right? And be protective of yourself. And there's children in this card, and there's a child and her mother in that card. So protective of your children. You may have children, you don't have to, but protecting even your inner child, protecting what's yours, whatever it is that you have left. And with a fierceness. I feel like she's stepping onto new ground, right? Yeah, and you could with this, I'm getting like a tent feeling from this. And like I said, you would have to start from scratch with this exile, right? You would start from scratch. You may have gone through homelessness. I myself have done that. Totally fucking worth it, let me just tell you, because a lot of people would choose not to do that. But I wasn't gonna put up with the crap anymore, so I wanted my own life. I wanted to break free, be free, and not be oppressed anymore. Anyways, so you may have suffered homelessness, or you may have had to, because you're walking away from everything and start from scratch and everything, maybe you used to live in like a really big house and then you had to go down to like, let's say a 1-bedroom apartment or something, right? Because that's all you could afford. And it was new ground for you, new territory for you, but it's yours. And you should be proud with that. And then we have the moon, right? So the moon is about mystical, deep feminine power. It's also about illumination, and there's beauty in the dark with learning to love yourself, because you're going to go through the healing of your shadow, you're going to go through or integrating of it, you're going to go through all of the darkness through that journey, and then there's going to be a lot of illumination within yourself and your surroundings and just in general. And she's standing on a bridge, and then you become, I mean, not only are you going to burn a whole bunch of bridges when you leave, but you also become the bridge yourself. Because of this divine connection, you are definitely going to be with these divine connections. You are going to be like a high priestess or a magician, or, you know, a divine feminine, and you will become the bridge between worlds, right? Because the divine feminine walks between worlds, as will your counterpart in that relationship. Right? Right, okay. Okay. Hope I'm making sense. You still with me? Okay. Give it a thumbs up if you're still with me. Okay, so the hard hit. So the high level soulmate, right? We have the 10 of Cups, right? 10 of Cups is family and happiness and fulfillment and all of your dreams coming true, right? 8 of Coins. So, okay, so there's a lot of swans in the background, and I just heard like community. And so I feel like when you're in a high level soulmate, you're going to draw in others, like other couples who are also in that high level, deep, loving partnership as well. So you will be, you know, joining other couples and doing the couple things. So I need clarification on this card. But she's holding, there's a lot of pentacles, right? And her hands are bloody and her feet are bloody. And I feel like there will be, yeah, there's like a lot of hard work in order to build your finances and build like a legacy between the high level partnership between you and your partner. It will be a lot of hard work. And there's like a difference between this though, and I'm not sure what it is. Like she's crying because I feel like, spiritually speaking, it doesn't fill that ancient magical power that the divine partnership carries. And that's why she's weeping, because that's the one aspect that you're not going to have in the high level. It'll be God-based, and it will be, you will be held by God, and it will be cosmic, but in a different way, if that makes sense. And so I feel like she's frustrated at times with that, because when you have the choice, okay, and now I'm getting like the Notebook. So for those of you that have seen the Notebook, remember the scene where her mother takes her to see the, like her Noah, which would be her divine counterpart, and he's doing construction trades or whatever. And she's like, this is the guy that was my Noah, and I chose like the high level soulmate. And then she tells her daughter, like I love your father, like no matter what. And she's like, yeah, I know, but it's different, right? And so I think that, you know, she sheds a tear or whatever, or it kind of like, there's that small piece of her, like, you know, what could have been, what if, because it holds a tiny piece in her soul that the high level soulmate is different from, if that makes sense. Then we move into the Magician. Now, like I said, this relationship, the high level soulmate, would be magical, it would be cosmic, it would be God-based, and you would create magic and everything that you touch, because you have the transformation of love and what love does and the vitality. Everything that you touch would be, as long as you're putting the hard work into it, would be fruitful and would turn into something amazing. And then we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is fast moving. So I feel like with the high level soulmate, it would be fast moving. So when you come into play, everything moves quickly, and you come into union quick, and everything progresses quick, the family, the kids, all that sort of thing. If that's something that you want, will move fast. Your endeavors will come quickly, and everything will kind of come at once. Whereas the divine counterpart, that journey is very long, and some doesn't even come into union because one person or both people don't do the work. It could take years, right? Whereas when this comes into play, it usually sets off when you come face to face with this person. I think we're doing good so far. Okay. Yes, okay. All right, so we're gonna do clarifying cards, right? Okay, so for the divine counterpart, clarifying cards that I can get, please. For the Six of Swords, the Queen of Swords. So bouquet. Yeah. And the color pink, so that's about self-love, because that's what that journey's about. It's about self-love. There's harmony, there's beauty, there's creativity, reconciliation. And reconciliation, I'm getting, because there will be miscommunication, there will be one of them that screws up, there will have to be forgiveness in that, there will be wrongdoings, so there will be forgiveness and reconciliation in that. But there will a lot of expression, a lot of gratitude, and there will be an openness and a love, right? And what can I get? What else for the divine counterpart? Clarifying. That's a lot. Okay, take them. All right. You don't have to contort my body too much. Okay, so we have the element of water. Yeah, total emotional based. A lot of, it's like a tidal wave, right? Of emotion. And you could be a water sign, they could be water signs. You guys have water in your charts, a lot of water in your charts. So there's a lot of healing, emotional flowing, compassion. It's an enchanting type of mystical fantasy. Yeah, when you come into contact with this person, there is a element of fantasy where you think you're making it up in your head, that it's not real, that is the other person really feeling this? There's a lot of that going on. So can't make it up. Swans, right? That divine twin union, where it's like you found your person, right? Soulmate, twin flame, a pair of things, blooming love, the one, deep soul connection, divination. And there's a fluidity, again with the water, where it's like a back and forth between the souls. And the telepathy. Beaver. So there's an abundance in this, an abundance in everything, abundance in triggers, an abundance in like the love for each other, an abundance in the healing for each other, with each other, abundance in the telepathy, an abundance in, gosh, the full moons and eclipses, an abundance in time stretched over, things working against you, but persistence paying off, sticking to your guns, showing yourself, choosing yourself, and going through that self-love will pay off. Yeah, a lot of repetition. Making your dreams a reality. One more for that. Okay. Underlying. I mean, you gotta fucking love it, right? Third person. There's always a third person. There's always karmic shit going on, right? With that divine connection. Underlying energy. Another person involved. Someone else's influence. There's a love triangle. There's an outside party. There's a third wheel. There's a lot of rivals. A lot of people against you, right? You guys have to fight through that. All right, clarifying cards and last messages for the high-level soulmate, the heart hit. Okay, so element of spirit. Yeah, there's a dancing with this one. Yeah, it's a life force. It's a binding force. It's a choosing of each other. And there is a lot of cosmic, spiritual soul connection with that. A lot of God base. And it even says Akasha in this. So it's written, right? There is more than one timeline that you can choose to go down. You can choose the divine counterpart, twin flame, or you can choose the high level soulmate. It's your choice. Again, it's just about what you want for your life and about how this person makes you feel. And what you ultimately want your life to feel and look like moving forward. If you're tired of the divine counterpart and you don't want to live in that sort of energy anymore, because again, it's a really hard and long journey, and some people just choose to be done with it and say like they hold gratefulness for it, they did a lot of healing on it, but it's just, maybe they're a little tired and they just, want to choose something else, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, because either one is an amazing adventure, amazing love, amazing passion, and both are going to be super important, super God-based, and they're going to be of service to the planet, right? It just depends, again, on what you want. Yeah. Divine timing. Okay. What else can I get for the high-level soulmate heart hit clarification, please? 2. Okay, we have the King of Air. So this person could be an air sign, could have air in their chart. You could, again, with the Chariot, which is also air. The signs of air are what? Libra, Gemini, and then the element of air where she's moving. Again, and I said at the beginning of the video where with that heart hit that I got, the feeling of it was warm and cool at the same time, but very airy and light, right? It doesn't have all the heavy, majorly intense energy that a divine counterpart would have, but still really powerful and passionate. Okay, so Pluto the Great Revealer. "444 on the clock. Foundations, family. So yeah, there is an awakening, a rebirth, because you've gone through the divine journey and self-love. There is a death and rebirth in that, right? 11 is new beginnings, divine number. There's a renewal. There's a chance to have a clean slate. Again, there's like a lot of solar and airy energy with this partnership and this romantic love. It's really beautiful. Yeah. And you don't get to this high-level soulmate without going through the journey of that self-love, right? But because this is so arduous and so painful and so transformative and so deep and so ancient, that God gives you a choice, right? Because he loves you, and he says, you've healed, you've transformed, you chose yourself, because that's the trick with a divine counterpart. You have to choose yourself. You have to choose self-love. Otherwise, it doesn't work. That's the test. that's the goal, to see if you can get through that and restrain yourself and pick yourself and heal yourself and love yourself. And then if the other person is also doing that work, and then you come out the end, then you get to pick which one you want. Because you're the queen. You're the empress. And it's lady's choice. Okay, can I get one more, please? Wow, okay. Uranus, bringer of disruptive change. And again, look with the cosmic and the stars, and it looks like she's dancing or floating, and she's also wearing a white dress in this one. So again, there's a lot of airy, ether, spiritual energy with that, right? There's an opportunity. Your spirit will be free in this relationship. There will be an individuality. And with the Fool and the Chariot and the Rebirth, there will be a choosing. And if you leave the divine counterpart in the past and you choose to go high-level soulmate, that's going to be a new adventure. That is going to be the choice to do something different, a choice to do something new and begin again, right? What's the underlying for this one? No. Yeah, there's a justice in this, judgment in it. All is cleared.